Hi everybody, it's Melanie Jayne here in downtown Indianapolis along the canal. Time for a little Q&A from my readers. The deep voice you're going to hear in the background belongs to Manny David, who's helping out today.
All right, Melanie. Marianne asks, are you a plotter or are you a pantser?
Well, Marianne, thanks for asking. For those of you that don't know, a pantser means when you're writing, you fly by the seat of your pants. I am totally a plotter. I'm a plotter to the extreme. Anyone that knows me, you know I'm a control freak. I start out with a huge outline, like 40, 60, 80 pages that includes dialogue, song inspiration, fashion. And then as I start writing the story, I usually also have a mini outline that runs 3 chapters ahead of where I want to go.
All right. Margarita asks, how many books have you written?
Margarita, I just celebrated writing the end to the first draft of my 11th book. That's 11 books in 3 years. A Change in Perception comes out September 15th. In early November, we have the 3rd book in the Cameron Farms trilogy called You Forever. That will be released then. October 1st, I start writing something totally different. I'm digging into the world of urban fantasy.
All right, Latifa wants to know, what is your biggest fear?
Latifa, I spend a lot of time watching the ID channel. I want to be prepared, but my biggest fear is that I am going to be the stupid victim. You know, the friend that goes in the basement when the power's out and there's a, known murderer on the loose and you hear something downstairs. Yeah, I'm not going to be that girl that goes downstairs in her lace nightie checking it out. I'm going to sit upstairs with my fireplace poker and my gun.
All right, Jody wants to know, what inspires your work?
Jody, that's a deep question. A lot of things inspire my work. One day I was coming home from work, I heard a Bruno Mars song play on the radio. It was the first time I had ever heard it, When I Was Your Man. And the whole story of You Only popped into my head, including all the characters' names. I kept driving around the 4-mile block out in the country until I had the story completely worked out in my head. I know overall it sounds like a huge cliche, but a lot of my books come to me during dreams. So I live in, I don't know, is that the subconscious, the REM state? That's where the brain gets creative for me.
All right, we got our last question here from Teresa. She says, why did you start writing?
Well, Teresa, my paternal grandparents both were writers for magazines and newspapers, so I grew up around people that wrote, edited when I would stay with them. Every night after dinner, one would read what they were working on and the other would edit it for them. So I grew up where reading was very important, and then I was also encouraged to make up stories. A lot of those turned out to be huge Broadway musicals that involved a top hat sometimes and my tap shoes. As I got older, I always had stories in my head, but I didn't really put them to paper. So when I got to college at IU in Bloomington, Indiana, I took a creative writing class thinking, I got this, no problem. First paper I got a D. Went to talk to the AI and she told me I had 0 talent. I'll never forget it. We were sitting in a coffee house and she said 0 talent. So I never wrote anything again. Later on, I was in the bar during one of Laura Lee's Raw events, and some of my friends said, hey, you should try writing a book. You can tell a really good story. So I thought, why not? It turned out it's a lot harder than I first thought because, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot you need to learn. I took classes. Went to panels at events to learn more, and that's how I got started and why I do it.